all frequencies. 211 in progress at Wilshire and Overland. All units, all frequencies stand by. Unit 26, respond, code 3.
This is L56. I'm 6 blocks north, lower.
What the hell are you doing?
You're driving.
I can't, my leg.
Put this on the air.
Where you going?
Taking a shortcut. We're gonna head him off. Okay, so welcome to our next project. As you can see from the intro, we're going to be doing a build from the TV series Hunter. For those that don't know, Hunter was a police detective type drama. It was, I think it ran in the mid-80s to early 90s. It's like 6 or 7 seasons, I forget. I watched the show occasionally, but I wasn't really a die-hard watching it every week type thing. But it starred Fred Dreyer and the female role, I forget. Her name was Dee Dee McCall, was the character. Her name was Stephanie Kramer. That's it, Stephanie Kramer. And again, Fred Dreyer, which was an ex-football player. He played for, I think, the Giants and the Rams for 13 seasons. He was a big guy, got into acting and everything like that, and then he was in this TV series, which at the time was really kind of a dark series. I mean, it was brutal for the time. I think, if memory serves me, it actually almost got canceled because it was so physically brutal at times, and it was actually suspended for a while, put on hiatus by the production company. They ended up bringing it back, toning it down a little bit, and then, like I said, it carried on for a total of 6 or 7 seasons. And the cool thing about the series, again, for the time, there's some really cutting-edge stuff, but one of the things that they hit on was a trend for the show was that Hunter was constantly wrecking cars. But unlike other detective shows prior to this one, where our protagonist had these cool sports cars like the Bullet, Steve McQueen had the Bullet Mustang, John Wayne as McHugh had the Pontiac Firebird, then there was Spencer for Hire with the Mustang. All notable, were all green cars. And they were sports-like cars, you know. Hunter had, for the first several seasons, a mixed match of cars, mostly Dodge Monacos, and they were always beat up and they got destroyed all the time. It wasn't until later on in the series he actually got one that lasted for a while, and that was also a green car. But it was always getting damaged. That was always the running joke of the show, was him damaging cars. But so we're going to do one of Hunter's Monacos, and to do that we're going to use this kit here. This, I haven't opened it up. It's an MPC kit, but I think this is the original molds from the 440 Magnum police cruiser from back in the 70s and such like that. It's just been reboxed a couple times. Now it's got this one too. I haven't opened it yet, but I kind of look at this kit. I've always wanted to get the Monaco police car, you know, various reasons, because I like police cars for one. But there's so many different things you could do with it. And again, this one does it. You can build it in 3 ways. I guess one is the Batman, Gotham City police car. Of course, you can build any police car with this using this kit, because it comes with the light bar and everything and all the police accoutrements. In this case, you get to also build the Joker car. I'm not sure what the third one is, what they're talking about, to be honest with you, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter, because it's just what we're doing is Hunter. Hunter drove a Monaco that was plain Jane detective car. So that's what we're going to do. Now I'm going to go a little different. I usually like to try to go different if I can. Again, if you go out, there actually is a metal die-cast car of Hunter's Monaco, and it's green. But I don't want to do that. I've got Spencer's car in green. Actually, two different Spencer's car in green. Or I say will, because I'm going to build another one, different season. It's going to be in green. I've got the McHugh car in green. So that's three, and I eventually will build the Bullet Mustang, which will be in green also. So we're going to go a little different. And in one of the seasons, you just saw it a little while ago, two different episodes, he drove, it was a honey gold type color car with primer all over in different spots, and the door was yellow. I think one episode it had no hubcaps, it just had steel wheels. Another episode it had just the little moon caps on it. So I'll have to figure out which one I'm going to do. But it was just a generic car, but the idea is to make it a little bit more unique by having the paint job, not just a green car like all the others. It should stand out because of its unique paint job. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to use this MPC kit. So hang on, we'll get into this and see where it is, because like I said, I haven't opened this yet. So all right, we'll be right back. Okay, so we're here with our first update for the Hunter Dodge Monaco. We got our engine started. Basically, again, we're going for a very worn out, I wouldn't say a junk car, a lot of his cars were junk, but worn. So what I did is I put the engine together, used black primer on it first, okay, and then I started using, to get the engine color, this Look at Me blue, okay, to get the actual engine color. Then what we're going to do, and being on the over top of the black primer, it kind of looks a little cruddy, okay, it doesn't look nice and shiny and new, which is good. So what I forgot to do is I forgot to put some gloss coat into the paint mix to make it a little shinier, just so I could do the weathering, because if I go to do some weathering on it now, which I'd like to do, to dirty it up even more and make it look crusty, it's just going to stick right to the matte coat. So I want it to be shiny first, get it dirty, and then reapply some matte coat to it to seal it all in. So, but that's where we are with this. We did add a dipstick to it. You can see that. Come in. Okay, you can see there we added a dipstick. Now, I'm going to try something new, something different, really is what I'm trying to say, with this build. And that is, when we build and put the engine and everything together, I want it to look like the real Dodge Monacos. And if you look at the engine compartments on those, they were just filled. You could barely see the engine through all the hoses and cables and stuff on it. So I want to try to do that. So that's my goal. So using different size wires, maybe some solder and stuff like that. We're going to put we're going to hose up and busy up the engine compartment as best we can, and then make it look dirty and gritty, stuff like that. So that's where we are with that. Then we have the body. Typical MPC, it's this white, very kind of feels like a brittle plastic if you work too hard with it. Like, I'm almost afraid in some points to how to cut this off, because it's going to just snap on you. Too much will snap. But anyway, it's got flash all over it. There's some in the wheel wells, underneath the body here. You know, bits and pieces everywhere have to be done. And then what you have is the mold lines, which in this case are running from here straight back and then down the window and off the top of the fender here on both sides. The drip rail detail, it's nice that it's there, but you can feel it's very sharp. Again, it's part of that mold line especially on the passenger side. It's very sharp, so that's going to have to be taken down. It runs along the front fender here, again, very sharp. If you put paint on here without taking this down a little bit, I think you're just going to have a white line because the paint's just going to pull away because it's just a very sharp peak. So we have to tone that down, pull out this brace here, and then the other thing is the body molding line that goes here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a body molding that goes from here all the way across to there. The car we're doing doesn't have it. Not that big of a deal to take it off. The only problem is when you get over here, it's right above the marker light on this on the front fender and right above the marker light on the rear panel. So I want to keep those. So it's going to be a little bit of a finesse sanding, if you will, to take that off on the front and the back of the car. But we'll get rid of that molding. Okay. And otherwise, it's just pretty simple, but it's a nice mold. It looks good. Very shiny, very shiny, but brittle like plastic. So that's where we are. So be right back.